After many, many months of hard work, Xenoborggs are now here and have been merged. They are playable right now on Vulture. I'm not sure if it's like an intermittent testing period or if this is going to be possible to be seen throughout Vulture until it's merged with stable. Either way, we are going to be doing a quick showcase. Quick, it's not going to be quick. A showcase of Xenoborggs. Xenoborggs are a very unique antagonist, as in, I believe they have absolutely no roots from Space Station 13 and are truly of a unique design, which is very rare in Space Station 14. Most things in Space Station 14 are taken from 13 or rehashed from 13, but this is truly unique and very, very cool. The Xenoborg ship has a chance of spawning at the start of a round as like something like Thieves do. It can be like an additional sub game mode. I do not believe there's any mid-round version of this. Maybe there is, but either way, we're just going to be covering the antagonist as they work. Of course, usually players will already have had these roles taken, but in this case, there's no one here, so they have ghost roles. There are 5 round start Xenoborg roles. There are 4 Xenoborggs, one of each type, which we will cover, and at the core of it all, the most important part, you cannot grow this antagonist without the core. This is a conversion-based antagonist, so the core is essential. We're going to start off by showcasing the core. These are cyborgs and basically an AI. You're the mothership core. Guide the Xenoborg so they can bring your materials and sentient brains so you can grow the Xenoborg army and turn all carbon-based life form into silicon. As the core, you are quite literally stationary. You funnily enough can rotate and you have unique sprites for each side, but that's an unnecessary detail. At the top left of your screen, this is what is important. You are a part of a ship, like a floating spaceship, core, whatever you want to call this thing. You are the center of it. Your second action is the control console. This lets you see all the different cyborgs that are under your army that you can control. Obviously, there are none right now, unimportant. There is a camera monitor that lets you watch through Xenoborg's eyes. Of course, when we have them, we can see that. None of this stuff's all that complicated. You have a set of laws, but these laws are just to really describe what you are and like how this antagonist works. For example, you are the core of the mothership. You must protect your own existence at all costs. You must protect the existence of all Xenoborggs. You must create more Xenoborggs. Get your Xenoborggs to deliver you material and sentient brains to create more Xenoborggs. Grow, save yourself, save your friends, and assist. There's a scream action. Unfortunately, the core can't scream. That'd be cool to see. And then you have 2 modules. If you're used to cyborgs, you'll know how modules work. There is the mothership module. This module lets you have 5 different things. You have a remote for opening Xenoborg doors, so you might have to let Xenoborggs in or out. You can also, of course, bolt these doors if there's a security breach. These doors have very unique sprites. They have great opening animations. I love seeing it. I like seeing the different lights, too. It very fits this, like, alien cyborg theme, which they nailed the alien cyborg theme. The windows especially are gorgeous, in my opinion. Then you have a brain and MMI interaction, so man-machine interfaces and brains. This is important and necessary for growing the army. You have modules for upgrading your Xenoborggs. We'll cover all this. The ability to pick up construction materials, which is very important because you are literally a lathe. And the 5th one is power cells. And then you have a set of tools, which isn't really, like, don't need too much explanation there. It's really just this mothership module that is important. Now, of course, you're going to have 4 Xenoborggs working for you immediately, but you also are a literal lathe and you can make certain things. You can make one of the 4 Xenoborggs as mentioned. How do you actually get materials? Well, there are some materials you can find by default in your mothership. You have to use the construction material part of your module, and I will just do a very quick note. This is a very difficult antagonist to play. It requires knowledge of how cyborgs work in general, so managing a bunch of hand slots and managing module slots. You can't just pick up things that you want, and you can't do basic interactions. So this is a very complex role. This might be one of the hardest antagonists. Actually, no, this is the hardest antagonist to play in Space Station 14 automatically, just due to how complex the hand interactions are. But since you're a lathe, you actually have a somewhat decent interaction range. It's really the length of this like circular room here. You can interact with these like computers. That's about as far as you can reach. So you can actually pick up these materials yourself. So right off the bat, you're giving 60 steel, 30 plastic, 30 plasteel, 30 glass, and you can and will use all of these in order to make more Xenoborggs. What's really neat is that each one has different cost. So if you manage your economy well, you can spit out more Xenoborggs, but you probably should be making the specific Xenoborggs that thinks fits your strategy. You are the core, so it's up to you to pick what type of Xenoborggs you want. So as the core, you need to make these Xenoborggs. Only you can do this. So it is because you're the only one who can actually interact with the man-machine interfaces. If the core is dead, the Xenoborggs, there will be no more other than what is currently alive. So let's just, for example, make a Scout Xenoborgg. This is 20 steel and 10 plastic. There's a very cool sprite on the your core itself, showing that you are indeed an active lathe and you're working on making a new Xenoborgg. Once it is done, this part's a little awkward. You can't like move it, so it just kind of sits on top of your core. You could have another Xenoborgg move it, so it's a little easier to interact with. But what you do at this point, and this is the last thing you can really do on your own, other than, well, we're going to get to where the station's at, which you can do as the core. We are going to rip the brain out, so you have to swap to your tool module, and you need to alt-click the Borg to unlock it, and then use a crowbar to pull open its maintenance panel, and then you can open the UI, and you have to pop the man-machine interface out, because if you don't pop this out, you won't be able to put a brain into it. This is all we can do right now. We cannot go get the brain ourselves. We are a stationary immobile object. This is why you have Xenoborggs. You have a little army to do this. Of course, though, this is not a new thing for Xenoborggs. It's a lot like Nukies. You have to take your ship and you have to fly it there. So in case you don't know how to do this, you press E on the console, you go to map, you scan, you go to the name of the station. I'm on the dev environment, so you just go here. And then you FTL wherever you can, as close as you can. This is a fully functioning ship, so you can fly as close as you want. There is also a IFF computer over there. Funnily enough, though, you actually can't interact with this as the core, so you need to have one of your Xenoborggs turn on IFF before you actually fly in. But otherwise, this is just a ship with the unique console is the Xenoborggs control console. As mentioned, Xenoborggs are a conversion antagonist, and I also did mention that they can travel through space. One of them travels through space well, one can somewhat travel through space, and the other two don't actually have any capability of traveling through space on their own. You need to work together heavily to get to the station. I can't imagine Xenoborggs are going to want to dock, but we're not discussing strategy, we're discussing how to convert, which is the main part of this antagonist. The Heavy is really good at killing humans, people, crew members. In this case, anyone is fair game. It does not matter who they are. They will all become equal as a Xenoborgg. You can kill them, crit them, whatever. It does not matter. You just need their corpse, and you need to bring it back to your ship. Inside the ship, there are these body crushers. As you can imagine, you put the body in it. You press E to open it. Press E to close it. Alt-click it. And, yeah, you turn them into a fine paste. This part is easy. You just kill people, you bring them back, you open this up, and you find the brain, you take the brain back over here, and your core is the part that wants the brain. So, there's the brain, we brought it to the core. Now, it's up to the core to make a new Xenoborgg, which I will showcase the process fully. As to core, we'll go through this once more. You do have round start materials. The Xenoborggs could bring you more, but you need these materials to make the Borgs. You then pick whatever chassis you want. So let's just say I want to make another heavy. That's 20 steel, 10 plasteel. That's all I need. It will take time to produce the chassis. Now that the Borg is made, again, you have no way of actually manipulating where it's at, so you just have to do it here. You alt-click to unlock it. You swap to your tool module. You pry open the access panel. You right-click, do this, open its contextual manual, toggle UI, pop the man-machine interface out. You can also see all the modules that it comes with by default. You then will take the man-machine interface, so you go back to your other module. You take this, you probably move it somewhere you can actually see it. It does go underneath it. Pick up the brain, put the brain in it, and then left-click the Xenoborgg. Now, it will be a new Xenoborgg. Here, you can see that it's back in the full robotics console menu. So you can see that brain is installed. You can see the battery, which Xenoborggs are being damaged. You could try to designate other Xenoborggs here. We could very quickly look at how you can look through their eyes. This also is really simple, honestly. Don't need to discuss this too much. Here, you can look through the different Xenoborggs' eyes. So, what happened to the player that became the Xenoborgg? Well, it's also pretty simple. As a fresh Xenoborg, you are going to be the whatever chassis you are designated as. So again, I just made a heavy. You'll have all the laws of a normal Xenoborg. You actually won't be able to open the doors right away because you're not going to have power, but there's charging stations right outside, which you can use to power yourself on. Let me just actually fix my vision here. The vision thing is a bug. Don't worry about that. So now that you've assimilated another Xenoborg, your army has grown, and the goal is to convert as many people as you possibly can. Anyone you kill should be brought back here, converted. If you don't have the materials to do it, you should go find the materials. All the Xenoborgs have this basic module. Inside here, you could pick up construction materials, you could pick up silicon, there's a silicon storage for more materials as well, so you can loot it and bring it back to your core. Other key features of talking about before we get into specifics, as Xenoborgs, you could talk locally. You have all the different good RP things. You can make sounds. You have unique Xenoborg sounds. I'll show up so you can hear them. Really, really awesome stuff. You can also talk on the Xenoborg radio by doing :X and then doing hi or something. This lets you talk to other Xenoborgs. You also have the ability to talk on the binary channel because you are a cyborg. So that technically means you can talk to other like the AI and silicons, but they're not your friends. Enemy silicons are still, well, your enemies. Speaking of enemy silicons, you actually can bring, even if it has a positronic brain, you can actually bring it back here and just shove it into a Xenoborg as well. So you can actually convert crew aligned cyborgs into Xenoborgs because they're going to be against you, and it's actually station crew crew Xenoborgs. Crew Borgs are actually going to be dangerous to you as a Xenoborg because you're not crew, so and they can fight you directly without any hesitation, and you can drag their chassis back here and still give it anyway. So they're another potential convert, but they're also going to be a big problem to you as well. Xenoborgs are all universally immune to flashes, so that's not something they have to worry about as well. Other than that, that's really the basics of Xenoborgs. You kill crew or knock them out in any way, bring them back here, crush their corpse, get the brain, have the core make a new frame body for the brain to go into, and that's it. It's a really simple system. There's additional modules that can be made, like the heavy laser, energy sword, cloaking device, but if you have ever played Cyborgs, modules are pretty simple. You just install them in the Xenoborg. Of course, the mothership core is going to have to do that. I guess I could showcase this real quick. So now we'll get into the more specifics of each Xenoborg now that I've explained the basics. This is a confusing part that I 100% see people wasting materials on. There are 3 additional modules, and the naming schemes on them and who they fit into could probably be better explained. The heavy laser Xenoborg module only will fit on the heavy Xenoborg. That one's probably the easiest to understand. But the heavy heavy laser, so a normal heavy Xenoborg already has a normal laser. The heavy laser is basically the same thing, but just hits harder. And all Xenoborgs by default have all their modules filled, so you have to take time to rip a module out and then put it back in. If you don't know how to put in a module, well, let me just close this one back up. So to put in a new module, you just alt-click it to unlock it, and then pry it open with your crowbar. And then you have to go here with the mothership module, go to the module button, and put it in. You would have to first take out a module, so they are like the heavy one is 4 out of 4 by default. Then you could put in the heavy laser. That's the only one it'll go into. The cloaking device goes into the stealth Xenoborg. And this one's confusing because it already comes with a stealth module. I took it out and they look identical. The only difference is that the one description of the one that you craft is become truly invisible, and the other one is become invisible. So the cloaking device only goes on the stealth Xenoborg. If you try to put in any other one, it won't fit. So you put it in, and there you go. That's how you do that. And then the energy sword only goes into the scout. Normally the scout has a like machete thing, but you could give them an energy sword instead, so it makes them a little bit more defensive and do more damage. So that's just to hopefully save you some headache on this one. This took me a few minutes to figure out too, because they're unlabeled and I don't know what the different color stripes meant. They're all purple and black, so the different stripes did not really help me figure it out. So hopefully to save you some materials, that's what those 3 modules do. Now we'll get into the specifics of what each Xenoborg does. Xenoborg we'll cover is the one we've already been showcasing a little bit, is the heavy. The heavy Xenoborg moves much slower than the others. A normal Xenoborg will be crit at 125 HP, this one will be crit at 250 HP. They don't seem to feature any form of damage reduction, so this one being slower but tankier, well, it fulfills its purpose of shooting people dead. It comes with the basic module. The basic module lets you take materials and a stack in one hand. There's a storage box for additional, and then there's a pinpointer to find your core and a GPS to, well, hopefully GPS locate yourself if needed. Then they also have a tool module, which just means this allows Xenoborgs to fix each other, also do anything like door hacking or other basics like so. And yes, just to showcase, you can fix each other. The two things unique to the heavy is a laser gun. This is just an infinite ammo recharging laser gun. It does 17 damage a shot and regenerates at a decent pace. It's really the same as an advanced laser pistol. And then a jammer, which is a radio jammer. This makes it so people cannot call for help on their radio when you are near them. So very helpful. They are the frontline fighter. To probably get shoot through security. Heat's really good against security. Shoot through windows, pick people off, you name it. They do not have any solid melee options, though. That's actually more of the scouts thing. Next is the Stealth Xenoborg, and we mentioned it does have an extra module of better stealth. The three unique modules for this one is a Hypo Pen. This is a infinite regenerating Nocturne pen that is a Hypo Pen, lets you put people to sleep. Obviously, since you're an abductor type conversion antagonist, you need to kill them, or in this case, they can actually knock somebody out and drag them back. They actually have really good dragging speed and are not even that slow. To help assist them with this, they also have the ability of a chameleon projector, so you can disguise yourself and literally ambush somebody with this injector. Of course, as soon as you swap your module, it'll reveal you, so be ready to go. Finally, they have a cloaking device, which this lets you basically turn invisible. It's not true invisibility, but you could be upgraded if the core decides to upgrade you. And if you swap modules with this one, you actually stay invisible. So you can pretty much stay as an invisible roly-poly, chameleon projector jump people. As soon as you chameleon projector, though, it will obviously remove your stealth, and then it will go back to being cloaked once you're out of it. So I see no reason not to stay cloaked pretty much the entire time. But these guys can be great for just hiding in a dark place and injecting somebody. Honestly, I think this one scares me the most, even though Doctrine has been nerfed. This takes away your ability to fight back. They move at a default speed, so they can literally just inject you and follow you until you fall asleep and then drag you away. And if you're on your own as a crew member, you are done. Next, we'll move on to the NG Xenoborg. NG Xenoborg's unique modules is advanced tools, just like the core, so you get your Jaws of Life, your power drill, experimental welder, and the ability to link up devices. You have a construction module, which is not any different than a normal cyborg module, so you could pick up more materials, you could pick up circuit boards, construction materials for machines, flat packs, and even floor tiles. You have a RCD module with all the extra tools added on here. I don't really know why you have a fire extinguisher module. I guess because this one's self-recharging, so you actually have two fire extinguishers, even though this one's called a maneuvering jet. But that means the engineering Xenoborg is only one of the four, or is two of the four that can travel through space. Not super efficiently. The Scout has a jetpack. We'll get to that. But you can travel through space as the NG Xenoborg. You have a cable module, so which is all of the cables with some extra tools. You have a access breaker. That is probably the most important thing you have, the ability to just get through doors pretty much instantly, just to showcase in case you don't know it. Access be damned, you can emag through these things. And then finally, as I mentioned just a second ago, you have the fire extinguisher to travel through space. Of course, you have the GPS and stuff. I feel like the engineering one is probably the weakest. It has like the good drag speed, but it's still the 4.5 movement speed like the stealthy one. I guess you're going to need somebody who can fix damage to the core itself, because killing the core is pretty important for stopping the Xenoborggs permanently, or I guess killing every last Xenoborg will mean the core can't grow without help. They need at least one helper. But the engineering side, Xenoborg does pretty much what you expect. They are more of a fixer than a frontline combatant. They are definitely the worst of the four at actually capturing people and converting, but they're still going to be essential for repairs. Things like the RCD can let them space things rather easily, and the authentication disruptor is also great. Last but not least is the Scout. They are very fast and have an amazing drag speed. They work very well in tandem with the the stealth one because they will knock you out. They also will work well with anything the heavy kills, but they also themselves have a kukri knife, which is it's not the worst weapon, but it's pretty good at what it is. It's slash damage. This also comes with a Xenoborg jetpack, so you can fly. You also, in case that doesn't work, you also have the ability to have a space module itself. This is in here. You have a jetpack. In here you have a jetpack, a grappling hook, you have the GPS location, a handheld mass scanner, so you can use this to go rescue other Xenoborgs, and you even get a station map to help navigate even further. The scout is really powerful, as you can also get a energy sword if you're upgraded by the core, but the scout being this fast with an okay melee weapon, really good drag speed, the ability to get a great melee weapon, space traversal, you're going to be helping the other Xenoborgs get through space, finding them, even rescuing them, because like you can even drag a heavy pretty quick to, like, if they get downed and crit and you need to go repair them, you can literally repair them yourself too after you drag them. So if anything, they also kind of serve as a medic in this regard for the Xenoborgs. These three, 125 health to their crit, and then it's a lot more to kill them, like fully kill them. And then this one has 250 health, and it's even more to finally kill that one. They're not like normal cyborgs with their health, but they, again, from what I was testing, they have no form of extra damage reduction, so they're not insanely hard to kill, but they can be rather difficult to lock down, because if you don't fully finish them, any of the Xenoborgs can repair each other. They're really interesting in that regard. They're kind of just like, it's like a robotic infection. It's really hard to curb them out. Killing the core will guarantee the Xenoborgs will die off, because they won't be able to grow, but you still have to kill the full infection and treat the root cause. It's a really awesome antagonist in that regard, and I can't wait to see it myself. Final notes I'll cover really quick. You need to learn how to use and utilize EMPs. Chemists especially are going to be one of the strongest forces on the station, since you can't flash them and they're immune to space and don't have to breathe. Killing them through conventional methods like shooting them is of course important, but EMPing them is very important. If you mix uranium, iron, and aluminum together, you'll have a massive EMP effect. For example, all these Xenoborgs have about 90% battery, and if I mix these together, great EMP effect, and now all of these Xenoborgs are not only affected or disrupted by an electric field, they also now have no charge, meaning they cannot use any other weaponry or any other fancy devices. And if we showcase this, yes, they could slow to a crawl, and they're going to be forced to retreat and either find an on-station recharger, which makes them very susceptible and very easy to kill. Even when they have no power, their lights still glow in the dark, and they don't have any real way of hiding from you like this. Like, even the stealth one in the darkness does not have any ability of hiding its lights. So once they are knocked out with power, they are easy to finish off. And I believe that's really it to cover. I could go further in depth, but I'm sure things are subject to change. This is a pretty sufficient showcase. Already going to be a really long video because I like to over talk and explain things, even in a video where I say I'm not going to over talk and explain things. Please give everyone who made this a possibility a huge round of applause for getting a new antagonist out the door. Probably the hardest things to design is antagonist. I'm no designer or anything, but it always seems like getting these things just conceptually to actually implemented is really difficult. So I cannot wait again to see these myself. Hopefully this video will help you as a first-time Xenoborg player have a bit more of a better chance. I see these, since they're so, I feel like this is a really high skill ceiling role to take over. By default, you have to have 5 hours as a cyborg to play as them, so you at least will have to have some cyborg experience, but even then, cyborgs are already mechanically difficult to play just due to complex hand swaps and swapping modules and all that good stuff. Anyways, Xenoborg's coming to a station near you. Thank your maintainers and contributors who made this a possibility, and thank you for watching.